It's Friday night, it's rivalry night, and I'm Kyle Smith for the HETV Game of the Week, featuring the Fremd Vikings and the Conant Cougars. Now in this one, if Conant wins, they will win outright the Midwest Suburban East Division. Jimmy Sotos leads the charge for the Cougars. He's their point guard, of course. And for the Fremd Vikings, they have a dominant front court duo of Patrick Banka and Brian Domke. Watch out for this one to see if Banka and Domke can expand the range from beyond the three-point arc. The Vikings and the Cougars coming up next.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, saved us that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And now welcome to tonight's varsity contest between the Conant Cougars and your Fremd Vikings. Let's meet tonight's starting lineup. For the Cougars, a junior guard, number 3, James Sotos. And for the Vikings, the junior guard, number 4, Kyle Sleva. For the Cougars, a senior guard, number 11, Brandon Vincent. And for the Vikings, a senior guard, number 10, Peyton Kim. For Conant, a junior forward, number 15, Michael Downing. For the Vikings, at guard, a sophomore, number 30, Ryan Martin. For the Cougars, a sophomore forward, number 25, Ryan Davis. For the Vikings, a senior guard, number 33, Patrick Banka. And for Conant, a junior guard, number 33, CJ DeShazer. And for the Vikings, a junior forward, number 35, Brian Dumke. The Cougars are coached by Conant Cougars, assisted by Bruce Goldbrand. The Vikings are coached by Bob Wodlowski, assisted by Mike Brown. Tonight's officials are Chuck Gonzalez, Jim Lynch, and Mike Scravis. Tonight is Operation Click Night, a program devoted to seatbelt use and safety. With a signed contract, students have a chance to win a brand new car. Tonight's Operation Click Night is sponsored by Friends Pave Club. Positive actions for Vikings every day. Pave meets Thursdays after school. See Mr. Bruce in Social Studies for more information. The Vikings Pave Club reminds you to buckle up tonight and every night. The Fremd Pave Club reminds you that cell phones and driving don't mix. Be safe tonight and every night. Please stop by the Operation Click Pave table to sign a pledge and enter a raffle for a variety of gift cards.
As the Public address announcer gives us quite an introduction for the game. I'm Kyle Smith, along with Bruce Anderson, as the tip is about to start. And it's won by Conant. That's Mike Downing on the winning of the tip, and it goes out to Soto's. And I saw before the broadcast, Bruce, that Pave gave away 50 free T-shirts tonight for all the fans. As you can see, they're all in green there on the sideline.
Okay, well, that explains that. I thought maybe spring was here a little early.
I wish, Bruce, I wish. It's still a little cold out for spring.
Yes, it is.
As Conant in their half-court set, Jimmy on the drive, goes back out to the three-point line, kicks it out to Vincent. Vincent with it, gives it to Davis. Davis, a beautiful pass to C.J. DeShazer. Back out to Davis, behind the three-point arc, back to Vincent. A lot of passing, not a lot of dribbling. So far on Conant's first offensive set of the game, Soto's on the drive, blocked, but he got a piece of the wrist. And Soto's going to shoot 2 free throws here.
So the Fremd defense very much in evidence here early. That's what we expect to see from Fremd. They're always tight on the defense.
Conant, too. We saw them earlier in the year. It was quite a defensive battle. Fremd had it for most of the game, but they just had some struggles down the stretch. Too much three-point shooting. And Brian Domke and Patrick Banka, they do like to shoot a lot of three-point shots. Sometimes they get a little complacent with them, and they'll shoot non-efficient ones.
Jimmy Soto,
Davis,
for 2.
Soto's misses both free throws, but Ryan Davis is able to get a big rebound and get the kickback to go. That's a carry, and that's traveling on Soto's. Not the best way to start the game for Soto's. 2 missed free throws and a carry with 55 seconds into the game. A little rattled, is he, you think, Bruce?
Maybe wound up tight tonight. He knows this is going to be a tough game, and he may have a little bit extra adrenaline going.
As we talked before the broadcast, if Conant wins, they win the division outright. If not, they'll have to win next week or a Fremd loss to get the outright title, and the home game for the championship game will be on February 24th at Conant, assuming all goes well for the Cougars.
Oh, there's a pass a little bit too far out in front.
Sliwa was not able to get it.
Peyton Kim not able to grab that.
So DeShazer's in the starting lineup tonight. He hasn't gotten a lot of starts this year, but he's done real well off the bench in the last couple games as Ryan Davis. He's been the star of the show so far, 2 points and a vicious block. But back to DeShazer, he hasn't seen a lot of the starting lineup, Bruce, but you know, you were a wrestler. Sometimes guys don't get the kind of time that they want on the floor, but when they do, sometimes staying on the bench all that time, you kind of learn from the veterans, and maybe we'll see that out of DeShazer tonight.
And there's a nice drive by Jimmy Sotos for 2. Yeah, sitting on the bench can be a great motivator. We'll have to see how he handles that.
As he's now in the starting lineup, he's not gotten a lot of starting minutes most of the year, as Banka with the 3. No good, rebounded by Davis. Oh my goodness. Another block by Ryan Davis of the Cougars. Martin was on the rebound, sorry. There's a Ryan Martin and a Ryan Davis. It's a tad bit confusing, but so 2 blocks for Davis, but yeah, DeShazer in the starting lineup, and he's looked pretty good. No points yet, but still early on in the game. They're going with a smaller lineup tonight, Bruce. DeShazer at 5'11" and Vincent at 5'11". Soto's is actually the tallest one of the 3 wing players at 6'2". And he plays the point, obviously.
Maybe looking for a little extra quickness in there.
Driving to the hole. Deflected away. Beautiful defense there by Conant. As Sliwa's pass goes to nobody but a Conant defender. Soto's on it now. Soto's for 3. Bank it home over Banka.
I think any jitters Jimmy Sotos may have had are gone.
You sure can say that again, Bruce, as he drains that one over the 6'8" Banka. He's the tallest man on the Fremd team. 7-0 is our score.
So Fremd calling a timeout. Coach Wodlowski wants to talk to his men, see if he can settle them down.
Yeah, it just hasn't really gone their way tonight, Bruce. They've had some good passes, and the good passes they're not able to handle, and the bad ones get stolen away from Conant. And bad pass by Sliwa ends up in 3 points for Soto's. So Fremd now trails by a touchdown and an extra point, 5:16 remaining in the first quarter. You know me, Bruce. Even when there's no football, I still long for football.
I understand.
Of course, Broncos won Super Bowl 50, and we won't have football again until next September.
And that's probably because we were doing the Broncos basketball game last weekend when the Super Bowl was happening. So I'll give us credit for that.
Sliwa on the drive, Downing closely defending him. Sliwa gets past Downing with a left-handed shot, but it was contested. Rebound, it was deflected. Looked like the last went off Soto's foot. Viking ball. Ryan Martin with the ball, and he passes it into Sliwa. Sliwa guarded by DeShazer. Back out to the three-point line to Martin. Martin with the drive, kicks it out to Peyton Kim. Kim for three, swoosh, 3 points for the Vikings.
So Fremd going for a lot of those three-point shots, and they finally get one to fall. Maybe trying to spread out that Conant defense.
Well, I think that's why Conant might have gone with a smaller lineup, just to have more quickness to get back out to the three-point line. They saw how Fremd was knocking down that three-point shots a couple months ago at Conant's home court, and maybe that's why they're going with the smaller lineup. Quickness back out to the perimeter. Davis on the drive, blocking foul.
And Brian Domke with an earlier pass rejection there.
It just doesn't, when it comes to Ryan Davis, Bruce, it just doesn't seem to matter who's guarding him, how much size he's going up against. He'll drive into the lane, he'll get rebounds, he'll box out anybody that he's able to in this division. I mean, Patrick Benka's 6'8", even size with Davis, and Davis is able to match up with him, pound for pound.
He's probably got a few more pounds on him. And he drains his second one.
As Davis makes one of two free throws, that's 3 points for Davis. Sorry, 5. No, that's 5 for Soto's, 3 for Davis. I was right the first time.
Don't know why you would doubt yourself.
So 5 points for Soto's, 3 for Davis.
Run back on attack here.
Got to get something to the basket, Bruce. You can't rely on a three-point shot all night long.
No, that's a sure killer right there. Low percentage shot.
That was a high percentage shot. Doesn't go. Martin with a beautiful rebound.
Ryan Martin for the Vikings.
Great hustle by Ryan Martin.
That's why they say it's good to have big hands in basketball. Ryan Martin just palmed the ball on the rebound and then got the layup to fall after the beautiful rebound.
Yes, he did. And he's been under there a couple times.
He's got some good size. He's 6'3". That's an even 4 inches more than DeShazer at the small forward position, but as I squeak there. Drive into the hole. No good on the shot. Rebounded by Domke. Fremd the other way. Fremd in transition. Sliwa back out to Benka. And are they going to call it charging there? Looks like they are. Conant ball.
Fouled by Kyle Sliwa, team's third.
Now entering the game,
The Vikings, number 20, Luke Schofstel.
Luke Schofstel. 6'4". He's a junior. As Davis having some trouble getting it in, deflected by Sliwa, but Vincent was able to get it. I'm sorry, DeShazer on it.
DeShazer able to turn around and track that ball back down. Almost another turnover for Conant.
Ryan Davis has played almost a perfect game except for that pass, but other than that, Davis has been all over the court tonight as he has the ball right now. Passes it back to Soto. Soto's on the drive. Timeout. Tom McCormick of the Cougars.
So Fremd able to come back. 8-5, Conant leads. But they've whittled that lead down from 7 to 3.
Fremd's never out of it, Bruce, especially when you got role players on the bench like Fremd does. And it's not just about Patrick Benka and Domke in the starting lineup. Kyle Sliwa would get hot too. And they'll just keep coming at you and just keep coming at you. They got good three-point shooters, and then they'll also come at you on defense. They can create offense by their turnovers on defense.
And their defense, their ability to rebound, giving them the second, third chance to make the shot. They missed the first one. So it's serving them on both ends of the court, that rebounding ability for Fremd.
As Ryan Martin got a key rebound to make it 8-5. And it was a 7-0 Conant lead, but little bit of a 5-1 run, if you'll call it that, for Fremd right now. On the inbounds pass, gives it out to Vincent. Vincent guarded by Kim. Couple dribbles there by Vincent, kicks it back out to DeShazer. DeShazer on the wing, on the left wing with it. Pump fake back out to Sotos, as Sotos is near the half-court line. Sotos with it, starts his dribble now. Sotos with it, kicks it out at the point, and now out to Vincent. Vincent off the screen, fights off the screen, and he's going to reset here. Beck gives it out to Ryan Davis. Davis with it, and that now back out to DeShazer. DeShazer back on the left wing, off the screen from Davis. Gives it back to Davis. Davis posting up, and there was some pushing action. The crowd didn't like it. It looked like he got a little bit too close to Davis, and on that was Samson Oladimeji.
Well done, Samson Oladimeji. Team sport.
As Oladimeji, first personal foul of the game. 8-5 is our score. 2:23 remaining in the first quarter.
And Fremd with 4 fouls so far, Conant none.
Obviously, Bob Wadlowski doesn't want to see that out of his crew. 3 more, and Conant's in the bonus. Stutter step by Sotos, a couple of nifty dribbles, almost lost his dribble. I think he out-dribbled himself. He almost turned the ball over. Ooh, a hard screen there from Oducha. Vincent with it, almost lost the ball. Back up, layup, no good. Rebounded by Oladimeji.
That height just too much under the basket. Conant not able to come down with it.
A beautiful move from Kim off the screen. Not able to get it to fall, though. And then Schaff still wasn't able to caress the rebound. Cougar ball. Now Mike Downing back into the game.
Into the Vikings, number 12, Connor Simeon.
Oducha going to take a seat.
Daniel Ronaldo is also in the game for the Cougars. So the Cougars, in their last couple games, they've had some contributions from their bench players. Kind of why they insert DeShazer into the starting lineup as a reward for his play off the bench. As Patrick Benka drives to the hole. How about that creativity, Bruce? What are they going to call a charge on that? No, it's blocking. Yeah, it's blocking foul.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think he
I
would have
read
had
that
time
wrong.
Yeah, I don't think he would have had time to get his feet set there. But the creativity on Benka as the right side of the rim was guarded, and then he just changed hands midway through the air and was able to draw the foul with his left hand. Beautiful job by Benka. As the second free throw falls for the senior.
Fremd now trailing by only 1.
Step by step, brick by brick, Fremd just comes back at you, especially with that suffocating defense. Maybe the shots won't always fall from Fremd, but they'll be able to force some turnovers on the defensive end, which can lead to some transition buckets for the Vikings.
And we've seen turnovers by both teams here early. First Conant able to force them, and then Fremd. It seems like they're taking turns, both in turnovers and scoring.
What do you think head coach Tom McCormick is telling his Conant boys, Bruce? They were up 7-0, and they've just been kind of cold ever since.
I don't know. That press defense really seems to be wearing on them. Conant just hasn't been able to get good shots. And when they've gotten in deep underneath, they're just towered over by the Twin Peaks there in the paint.
So 8-7 is our score with 1:37 remaining on the inbounds pass from Oducha. He gets it back out to Sotos. Sotos, of course, the point, leading the team. He's got 3 points tonight. Sorry, 5 tonight, 3 for Davis.
And Sotos only a junior. You got to wonder how good he's going to be next year.
Vincent with it. Comes off the screen, but help defense was there. Drives to the hole. Sotos with it now. Off the pass from Vincent. Gives
Again,
it out to Ronaldo.
Gets into the paint and finds himself among the trees with no place to go up with it.
Ronaldo fakes the three-point shot. Kicks it to Oducha. Shot doesn't fall. And they're going to call over the back. Looks like it was either against Oducha or Downing. Probably Downing. And that's the second team foul against Conant.
Oducha.
That was right the first time. Isn't that funny how that happens, Bruce? Seems like you're always right the first time, then you second guess yourself.
That's right.
Good job fighting that off from Schofstel. It passes out to Domke. And now out to Simios. Simios with it. Passed out to Schofstel. Back out to Simios. Simios fakes a three-point shot. Long range two. Oh, in and out. Doesn't fall. Conant still leads by just one, though.
Brandon Vincent able to come down with that rebound, bring the ball up.
We've seen the guards able to get some rebounds for both teams. Especially Ryan Martin, who had a big rebound earlier with one hand. As Soto's and the Cougars will hold for the final shot. 12 seconds now. Soto's guarded by Schofstel. As Soto tells his teammates to sag off. It's all him. Loses his dribble. That's going to be a travel / double dribble. And that means Fremd will have the final shot with 2.7, which is eternity in basketball.
And that's why I hate that stall. Usually you wait until there's too much time gone, you don't get a good shot off, or in this case, turnover.
Schofstel.
Off the front of the rim.
So Conant decides to sag off there. Do you agree with that decision from McCormick to sag off on the defense? It wasn't like it was a half-court shot. It was just a long-range three. I understand not wanting to foul, but it was almost like a wide-open look. He had nobody guarding him on the play.
No, but that was a long shot, literally.
It was a long shot, but so they decide not to guard him on the play. And it wasn't like it was right at the three-point line. It was quite far behind it, but they decide to not even risk attempting the block, and
it works out.
It works out in their favor.
So 8-7, it doesn't get much closer than that. Fremd able to just claw their way right back into this one. And that defense just stifling Conant. They haven't been able to do anything since their first 7 points.
In fact, you could really call this a 7-6 Fremd game, those other 2 points, because they forgot to box out on Ryan Davis. Soto's missed both free throws, and Ryan Davis was just able to get the rebound on the second missed free throw and lay it up to make it 2-0. So get rid of that mistake from the Vikings, and they're winning this game. It's 8-7 is our score. Cougars still lead by 1, but it's a 7-1 run for the Vikings since trailing 7-0.
No, Fremd back on offense.
Schofstel, who missed that three-point shot just before the buzzer. Three-point shot, pump fake, back out to Schofstel. As Banka looking to check back into the game. Pump fake by Schofstel. Back out to Simios, back out to Schofstel.
Both teams with great defense.
Just can't seem to break these zone defensive schemes.
Oh, knocked
Stripped away,
away,
but Fremd able to get the ball back. On the drive now, pump fake, guarded by 3 men. Fakes a three-point shot. Simios, a lot of dribbling, almost got stolen away by DeShazer. Back out to Simios as the Vikings will reset here.
Conant able to break away from that triple team.
Well, that was great defense from Conant. They just weren't able to get the rebound. And then eventually the three-point shot falls for Dylan Simios.
And that gives Fremd their first lead, 10-8.
So the Simios brothers on the court, and they make them pay. The Vikings are back on top. First lead of the game for the Vikings. Passes it to Downing. Downing one-on-one on the low block. Drives in. Downing.
There he goes. First points for Downing.
Well, you can never say that Mike Downing is down and out. He's always in the paint trying to make things happen. Hits the rim twice, doesn't fall through. Give him an A for effort, but
should get something for that.
give him an A for effort, but a 0 in the point total on that possession.
Well, this game all tied up. Conant trying to break it right here.
DeShazer with it. And it's out to Ronaldo. Ryan Davis playing a little point center as he's been at that point a couple times, making things happen. He even drove to the basket and drew a foul earlier in the game. Davis again drives in. Davis posting up. Gets it to go and one. He's almost like the Rob Gronkowski of basketball. Give me ball, I make bucket.
And when he puts that shoulder down, you don't want to be in front of him.
Once I get ball, I score.
I wonder if they call him Mongo.
As he makes the and one, and The free throw doesn't fall, but that's 5 points for Davis.
Almost able to get his own rebound.
Well, if Conant's going to win this one, they might just have to put it on the shoulders of Davis because he seems to be the one guy that Fremd's having problems with. They seem to be able to handle Soto's, but not so much on Davis. As that's a bad pass for Fremd. They just can't get it out of their own way, Bruce. They just keep making these silly turnovers.
And Downing starting to make a, wow.
It also helps
there.
that the Cougars have Jimmy Soto's on their team.
Yes, it does.
He just makes it look so easy. That was not easy. Falling away from the basket and was able to underhand it with enough power on it for the layup.
And that was great defense. There's a little elbow for Mr. Davis.
Yes, Ryan Martin was a little too aggressive. Sometimes you don't want to be that too aggressive, Bruce, because now that's the 6th team foul against the Vikings.
Versus 2 for Conant.
As Peyton Kim back into the game.
In for the Vikings, number 10.
So Ryan Martin going to take a seat.
Both teams have great sportsmanship and great teamwork. As we saw, Martin going back to the bench, he just gives his teammate a nice clap and just gets back to the bench, not frustrated at all. He knows it's for the best interest of the team.
Now there's another block and a steal, and it looks like a Conant penalty.
Like he reached in there, which of course is a personal foul.
Michael Downing with that. So that's 3 fouls on Conant now.
As both teams going into their bench. And Simios, who made that 3-point shot, back on the bench.
Peyton Kim with the dribble. Passes it out.
As Sliwa's shot off the back iron, rebounded by Vincent.
Sorry, I just do not like all that 3-point shooting.
Well, they got into a problem that against Conant. They had the Cougars on the ropes, but then they just had too many 3-point shot attempts, and it bit them late in that 4th quarter. And that loss at Conant as Downing to the line.
Number 33, Patrick Banka, 7.
And that gives them 7, so Conant's in the bonus now.
Whatever Tom McCormick said to Mike Downing after the 1st quarter, continue to say it because he's just been a different player in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, he's getting Downing out there. And he gets the first one.
For the Vikings, number 34, Simpson.
Mike Downing, number 15, 6'8". He's only a junior, just got to wonder if he can get even better at the free throw line, what his chances are going to be at making it to the next level.
So Conant able to pull away a little bit, 5-point lead, make it 6.
Downing's got a lot of good elements to his game. If he can improve that free throw, there's always going to be a place for him on the court. But until they get rid of the hack-a-shack strategy, when you can't make free throws, it can bite your team late in games.
Very much.
As now Peyton Kim with it and gives it out to Sliwa. Back out to Kim. Inside. Fakes the shot. Nice move by Domke.
Oh,
block.
Oh,
but he got the wrist.
Alarm.
It's just so hard to play defense. You got to go straight up and down. If you diagonal your block, that's going towards the wrist. Blocking foul.
So we'll see how Brian Domke does from the line here. Looking for his first point and gets it.
Well, we talked about before the broadcast, if the Vikings are going to win this one, they got to get their front court mates of Domke and Patrick Banka involved, but not too many 3-point shots. They're shooting the 3 a little bit too much for my liking. As Domke makes both free throws, get to the line, see if you can get a post-up game going.
Domke 6'5".
You don't want your 3-point shot to be your entree. Nice little dessert. But have a couple of side orders as well. Some mid-range shots, some post-up game. That'll work wonders for the Vikings. That one's blocked away. Davis able to hold on to it after it was deflected away twice on the defense. Davis again not able to get it to fall. Beautiful defense there. Another nice job by Oladimeji. Peyton Kim for 3. No good.
Wow. Pinball.
pinball twice and then eventually didn't go.
Ryan Davis able to rip that ball away, but they call it a jump ball. Arrow to Conant.
So 17 fouls against the Vikings. Means Conant's going to be in the bonus now regardless. And then 3 more by the Vikings, and Conant's in the double bonus.
Conant with the ball and a 4-point lead. Oh,
Oladimeji with a beautiful block. What about the defense from Sampson? Sliwa, mid-range game, no good. Rebounded by who else? I'll do Oladimeji.
oh, and that off the foot of Schofstall.
Mike Downing's layup doesn't fall. Schofstall back in it, calls for the ball. Schofstall, oh, a beautiful deflection away by Ronaldo.
But he's getting called for the penalty.
I don't care, Bruce. You do whatever you can. Never give up a free layup.
That's right. That was a good penalty.
Good shot at the line.
Looks like they're going to say it was in the act of shooting. And Schofstall out to the line for 2 shots. As he might have hurt his knee, but he got right back up, and it was a nice pass there from Sliwa, but Schofstall wasn't able to hit the layup after the beautiful defense from Ronaldo reaching in to not allow the layup to go. Schofstall's second layup falls. 16-14 is our score. Fremd only trails by 2. Sliwa tried to keep it in, and then he knocked it off on purpose. Off to Shazer's shoulder, Viking ball with 3:02 remaining in the first half.
So Fremd with a chance to tie it up here.
Dylan Simios back in the game. Got his drink of water. Water boy approved. And now back in the game for the Vikings.
Is that quality H2O? Oh, there we go.
That was not a quality pass, though.
No, it wasn't. It's a quality interception.
Good defense. A little bit of careless offense. Conant now in their half-court set. Davis with it, now out to Sotos. Sotos with it. Oh, almost traveled there, but was able not to. Now back out to Downing. Downing lost it. Picked up by the Vikings. Sliwa with an open layup chance. Gets it to fall. We're all tied at 16.
Those Kyle Sliwa's first points. Tying the game. 2:15 left.
We talked about Domke. We talked about Banka. Don't forget about Sliwa. He can get hot at a minute's notice. He can put up 30 points or more in a game at times as well. He did that earlier in the year. Now under 2 remaining in the first half as we're all tied at 16.
So once again, the scoring very streaky. Fall away jumper. Oh, off the front of the rim.
Schaaf still on it. Fighting that injury. As he's a little bit limpy on that left knee. Keep an eye on that, but he's doing as well to fight through it. Back out to Sliwa. Sliwa from beyond the 3-point arc. Fakes the shot. Out to Sampson. At the corner, and then gives it back out to Sliwa. Sliwa with it with 1:25 remaining in the first half. Schaaf still back to Sliwa. Sliwa double teamed. Gives it inside to Domke. Sliwa, a long 3. Doesn't fall. Rebounded by Sampson. How about that? Another rebound for the guy off the bench. Fakes the shot. Davis says, not today, man. Try again.
Let's just block that one out of bounds.
Just call me when you gain 3 inches. Not today. Timeout on the floor. Called by the Vikings.
Our next 2 winners for the Operation Click.
You know, I wish I could get a free car, Bruce. What gives? How come I couldn't sign up for the giveaway?
I think you've lost your drive.
Stop by the paved table to redeem your prize.
Of course, they're having a raffle for a car giveaway, and they gave out 50 shirts to the first 50 Fremd fans to arrive at today's game. It's a big rivalry game tonight, Bruce, as if Conant wins, they get the title outright. If Fremd wins, they put the pressure on Conant to win next week for the title. Otherwise, they share the title.
So this is a very important game for both teams. Conant able to win in the last minute, their first meeting. Fremd up for some revenge on their home court. And the excellent game we suspected coming into it.
Just great defense. Just every shot seemed to be a contested or a long-range shot. You just can't really get, both teams just can't seem to get a lot of good shots towards the paint.
Both teams with that good lockdown defense.
Now Sliwa on it. Sliwa had the shot, instead passes it to Domke, and Domke does what he does do best. Make those nice mid-range shots.
So Fremd again with the lead, 18-16.
Back and forth, the teeter-totter we go. We'll see if we get that in the second half as well. Soto's with it, one-on-one. Off the screen from Davis. Soto drives. Soto's layup falls.
Beautiful.
Picture perfect basketball. One screen and a drive. Don't have to make it that difficult. Just have the speed and do what you do best. Drive to the hole.
Beautiful arcing shot. Just right through the net.
15 seconds remaining in the first half. Peyton Kim on it. Couple of dribbles, switching the D. 7 seconds left. Gives it to Sliwa. Sliwa on the drive. Sliwa deflected by Ronaldo. Ryan Davis throws it up at the rim. No good, and we're all tied at 18 going into halftime. Great first half, Bruce. We'll see if Jimmy Soto's and the Conant Cougars can come up on top for the season sweep, or if Patrick Banka and the Fremd Vikings can even this one out and put pressure on Conant for their next week's game.
So we'll be back with the answer to that question after halftime.
The second half is about to begin. We're all tied at 18. I'm Kyle Smith along with Bruce Anderson. Defense, defense, and more defense. That's what we saw in the first half. Suffocating defense leads to turnovers, which leads to transition buckets. We've seen that for both teams tonight.
Yeah, both teams with a good lockdown defense. Fremd doing very well in the paint, that extra height, giving them rebounds and helping them get good inside shots and kind of cutting down the inside shots for Conant.
It seemed like Fremd at least has a little bit of the momentum going into halftime, but we've seen some turnovers, well, both teams for that matter, but mostly for Fremd. you think it's more of the Conant defense, or is Fremd just kind of making some silly passes?
I think it's a little bit both. The Conant defense makes you throw silly passes. And same for Fremd. They just wait for the mistake and capitalize.
Who do you think is going to be more important for Conant to win this one? Ryan Davis or Jimmy Sotos?
Probably Sotos, but if you can get Davis hot, that would be a big advantage for Conant, because it's hard for one guy to do it on his own, even Jimmy Sotos.
Jimmy Sotos has 9 points, leading the Conant scores, 5 for Davis. It's been a real team effort for the Fremd Vikings tonight, as you see on the Jumbotron there. 4 points, 3, 2, 2, 2. Seems like that Fremd is getting a little bit more production from the bench for the Conant Cougars.
They are. Fremd's been able to spread it out, and that makes it much tougher to guard. You can't just key in on 1 or 2 people.
Now it was a 7-0 early lead for Conant, and then after that it's really been Fremd who's really taken it to the Cougars. 18-11 run since then. And it's 18-18. As the game's about to start here in the second half, as it looks like both teams are going to stick with their starters going into the second half. It'll be Fremd ball. Patrick Benka is going to take it out.
Watching the Fremd Palms at halftime reminds me that the Hoffman Estates cheerleaders are down at state this weekend, so we wish them good luck, along with the rest of the contestants.
Absolutely. Good luck to Hoffman Estates. And Sliwa's shot doesn't fall. He thought he might have been fouled, but it looked like incidental contact.
He doesn't think so.
As the inbounds pass goes out to Ryan Davis. From the end line, gives it out to Sotos, and play resumes. Sotos with it. As that pass goes off Vincent's hand, and then goes off a music stand, and the music director's not too happy about it, but that's all right. He's not footing the bill for that music stand.
Yeah, he just won't stand for it.
We got basketball, we got commentary, and we got jokes. The triple threat tonight. Out to Benka. Benka for 3. No good. Last touch by Davis. Viking ball.
Davis chased it out of bounds, wasn't able to track it down.
One thing the Vikings haven't been able to do is get one key score. It's really been a team effort, kind of like those Bulls teams we saw the last couple of years without Derrick Rose in the lineup.
And Fremd really taking advantage of that height differential that they have there.
They're using, it's all a team effort. They're not really keying in on one score, but they are trying to get Benka a little bit more involved. Domke to the hole. Domke hits the shot and draws the foul. He'll go to the line.
So is that Donkey Kong?
Yep.
Fouls on Ryan Davis, the team's first. In for the Cougars, number 21, Chima.
Donkey Kong
Orocha.
sucks. You know something? You suck. Of course, that's Billy Madison, if you guys don't know the reference. If you don't know the reference yet, please watch that movie. Very good.
Again with the rebound, Fremd able to, they missed the free throw, but
On the shot, Domke gets his defender up in the air and hits the layup after that.
so Fremd out with a 4-point lead now, 22-18.
Well, if Fremd is having some trouble with passing, the Cougars are having problems with rebounding, especially in this third quarter thus far.
And Ryan Davis given a little bit of a break there, waiting to come back in. They need his height.
DeShazer on it. DeShazer off the screen. Now he goes back to the point. Soto's with it. He's guarded by Martin. Soto's double teamed, and then he'll pass it out to Vincent. Vincent fakes the shot and gives it back out to DeShazer. DeShazer with it. Fakes the pass, then he passes it out to Vincent. Vincent kicks it back out to DeShazer on the left wing. Back out to Vincent at the point. Vincent drives into the paint, back out to DeShazer. DeShazer with it. And it gives it out to Sotos. A lot of passing around the perimeter. Can't seem to fight through the zone yet. Sotos, contested mid-range shot. No good. Rebounded by Downing at the highest point. And then he's fouled on the play. Looked like it was before the act of shooting. And it's going to be an inbounds play. On the end line, Ryan Davis back in. So he gets about a 10-second break, and he's back in the game for the Cougars.
That Fremd height advantage so hard for Conant to overcome. And there you see it right there. He lofted a pass that Ryan Davis wasn't able to go up and get.
Even with Davis back in the game, that's still a lot of size that Conant's got to deal with. They have Downing and Davis out there, but they're not exactly as fast as Banka and Domke. Sliwa on it. Sliwa out to Domke. Domke guarded by Davis. Domke fakes the pass inside the paint and then starts his dribble. Domke with it. Stopped his dribble and he passes it out to Banka. Banka on the right wing. Kicks it out to Sliwa. Sliwa drives inside the paint. Kicks it back out to Domke. Domke mid-range shot, no good. Doesn't box out. Banka gets the follow-through to go. 6-point lead now for the Vikings.
And those second and third attempts are just killing the Conant Cougars.
Yes, Tom McCormick doesn't like that. An early 6-0 run for the Vikings.
So the Conant defense able to force misses, but that Fremd height advantage gives them rebounds and second and third chance opportunities. And right now the 6-point lead, 24-18.
Well, we thought it might be 3-point shooting that might be the difference for a Fremd victory over Conant. But it's just been the fundamentals. Rebounding, and more rebounding. It just seems like Fremd wants it more than the Conant Cougars.
I don't know that they want it more. They're just able to get it more. It's hard to out-rebound when the opposition has as much height as Fremd does.
As we'll talk about that height right now. Now, Brian Domke, 6'5" and can run. He can space the floor with his shooting. Patrick Banka, 6'8". Mike Downing, 6'8". Ryan Davis, 6'8", but they're not always on the floor together because Downing does struggle with that free throw. So they'll have to put a smaller guy in, and when that happens, it does create height disadvantages for for Conant.
And Davis and Downing, the two tall men for Conant. Soto's at 6'2", fairly average size for a basketball player, but above average skills.
Soto's with it. Yeah, he's got good size at the point at 6'2", especially in high school. No good. Davis is able to get it, falls to the floor, passes it out, and it was last deflected by Ryan Martin. Conant ball.
So Conant lucky there to maintain possession. Fremd almost picked off another one.
It just seems like we are having deja vu all over again. When it was back at Conant, the Cougars came out to a big lead. Then Fremd came right back, and then they took control for most of that game. So far, story's the same in this one. On the drive, and Vincent's going to the line for two.
That's what they got to do. Drive, try to create something. If you're not getting the basket, maybe you get the foul, get to the line. We'll see how Brandon Vinston does from the charity stripe.
Now Brandon Vincent, he's a senior, has experience, and he knows that the mid-range game wasn't working for the Cougars, so why not try something different? The hole was open, drive to the lane, see if he can get to the line. Misses the first one, though. Second free throw coming up right here. Left-handed shot falls, and the Vikings now lead by just 5.
So that's the first point of the evening for Vincent.
Banka with the ball. Inbounds play, gives it to Domke, and he'll give it out to Peyton Kim. Now they kind of mix and match. It's not just Peyton Kim that plays point. They kind of mix and match with Kyle Sliwa. Sliwa's more of a combo guard. Inside the paint, Brian Domke again.
He is on fire. 10 points for Domke.
Banka might be their best player, but don't forget about Domke. He's a close second. Soto's with it, gives it out to Vincent. Vincent has a left-handed shot. Drives into the lane, no good, rebounded by Davis. Davis gets the layup to go. But this Fremd team, I want to reiterate how well coached they are. He knows that Davis was close to the basket. Don't foul on it. They didn't foul Davis. Let him have the free throw. Don't force a three-point play. As That shot is no good by Banka, and of course another foul would allow Conant to be closer to the bonus.
So we'll see if the rule of streakiness stays in play here in the second half.
As our score is 26-21. Schaaf still back in the game, and he'll replace Martin.
First half, Conant would jump out to a 5 or 7 point lead, and Fremd would come back. And here Fremd gotten out to a 6-7 point lead. Can Conant come back? Underneath for Davis, and he gets hacked.
If in doubt, give it to the Rob Gronkowski of basketball. He's just so much size. Also, he's got good fundamentals. Always in the right place at the right time, posting up inside.
He's a good-looking player.
He's only a sophomore, too.
And with that size, you'd wonder how good he'd be with movement and everything, but he's good.
First free throw goes for Davis.
That gives him 8 so far, looking for 9. Conant trailing by 4.
As Slee was back on the bench. Second one goes, nothing but net. So the Fremd lead is now just 3. Davis has scored the last 4 for the Conant Cougars. Schaaf still on it. Looked like he might have pushed off. No foul called. And then they're going to call it on Sotos.
No, not. Sotos is clapping.
Well, they're going to call it on Schaaf still. Well, they should have called it a couple seconds ago as he blatantly pushed Sotos off the ball. And I guess justice was eventually served on it.
Maybe a little bit of a makeup call there. The crowd not liking it at all.
Well, doesn't matter if they don't like it. If it's the right call, it's the right call. Ronaldo gets some space on the shot, doesn't fall. Looks like Downing might have been over the back on Banka. Viking ball.
Calls on Michael Downing, Conant's second.
26-23 is our score with 3:25 remaining in the third quarter. Banka with it as he fakes where Kim should go, and then he passes out to Schaaf still. Schaaf still deflected away by Sotos. Odd man break for the Cougars. Sotos drives in, changes hands, doesn't go. Downing with the rebound. Downing can't get it to fall. And it was last touch by Downing, goes back to the Vikings. Ooh, that one hurts for Tom McCormick and the Cougars.
Yes, it does.
But the Fremd Vikings, they just don't quit on plays. Sotos looked like he might have had the layup, but the tough defense made him switch hands midway through the air, and he just couldn't get the layup to fall.
And Conant with some rebounds there, but just not able to get him to fall.
Downing got the rebound, but he was guarded well, and he just couldn't get up a shot. He had a couple of rebounds on that last possession. Now it goes out to Peyton Kim, It's guarded by Vincent. Peyton Kim drives and then resets near half court. It's Banka on it, back out to Domke. Domke leads Fremd in scoring with 10. Domke posting up, calls for the ball, gets it, off the bounce pass. Now he's doubled, starts his dribble, passes it out, gives it out to Simios, and now back out to Schaafstel. Schaafstel with it, bad pass, and almost stolen away by Downing. Banka drives, Banka with the right hand, no good. Domke on the next shot, doesn't go, but he was fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2.
So Ryan Davis going to get called for that one.
Calls on Ryan Davis, team's third.
That gives him 3.
Frank Domke, shooting 2.
Do you put Davis on the bench for a couple minutes here, Bruce, or do you risk it?
Tough call. They really need him in there. They got to have that height.
Going to take Downing out instead, keep Davis in.
Enter for the Vikings, number 30.
Nobody's really in foul trouble for Fremd, but a couple players have 2, including Domke and Banka.
21, Chima.
Okay, there, Davis going to take a seat.
Yeah, I thought so. There's 2:32 remaining in the third. You also got to worry about conditioning. You don't want to be too tired for the fourth quarter.
Oducha and Todorov in, both scoreless so far.
Rebounded by Todorov. He gives it out to Sotos.
So Sotos needs some help out there. Can't do it himself.
Fremd really needed those 2 buckets to fall for Domke, and both of them missed. Goes out to Vincent. Vincent guarded by Simios. Foul called away from the ball. Looks like it was called on Soto's.
Fouls on James Soto, team's 4th.
It's a 4th team foul against the Cougars, 5 against the Vikings.
For the Vikings,
That's Soto's first foul of the evening.
Just seems like Soto does a lot of things well, including never being in foul trouble. Plays good defense, never loses control.
So we'll see what Conant's able to do with their big men taking a little bit of a breather here. 1:58 left in the third.
Banka, he's got some nice dribbles for a big man. How about that? Nice pass. And then passes it around, and then Sampson. Oladimeji lets it go. And we're up by 5. Fremd leads 28-23.
Those Oladimeji's first points on the evening.
Fremd may lead by 5, but footlongs cost 6, unfortunately now. Soto's with it.
Death of an American icon.
Oh,
Soto's field goal.
3-point shot goes in for Soto's. If in doubt, little old school step back basketball. Step back and take it, says Soto's.
28-26. Conant trails by 2.
Banka with it. He's guarded on the play by Todorov. As he got in the air, had to pass it, and it was not stolen away by Vincent. Schofstil's able to get it. Good fork work by Schofstil, as he doesn't go out of bounds. Deflected away, falls in the hands of Ronaldo. And then a bad pass by Ronaldo, deflected away by the Vikings.
Simios knocked that one away.
Banka with a beautiful drive, falling to his right, gets the layup to go. And the Vikings now lead by 4.
And Banka with 6 points on the evening.
Bank it home as he went off the backboard on that one.
So Fremd with a 4-point lead now.
As Ronaldo says they might hold for the last shot here. I disagree. I think get something to the basket. If it's a good look, take it. You don't necessarily have to hold for the last shot.
No, I'm not a proponent of stalling for that last shot.
Especially since they're down by 4, but it looks like they're... Now it's too late. Got to hold for the last one. 3 seconds, now 2. Soto, step back, mid-range shot, doesn't go. And the Cougars trail 30-26 heading into the 4th quarter.
So Fremd able to come down and just lock things down on defense. They got the 4-point lead going into the 4th quarter. We'll see who's got the gas left for the final period here.
Seems like we're living Groundhog 2 in this one, as we saw a couple months ago. Conant had the lead. Fremd led for most of the 2nd quarter, heading into the 4th quarter. Most likely of this game too, is Fremd has really taken it to Conant since the 1st quarter.
They really have. Fremd looked really dominant in that quarter.
Luckily for Conant, they only trail by 4, so as dominant as you might look, as long as the shots don't always fall for the opposing team, you're still technically in the game.
And that's why I hate the stall. If you've got time, work for a good shot. Don't just stand there and dribble the time away and then force up a bad one with no seconds left on the clock.
Especially if you make a shot with 4 or 5 seconds left, you don't necessarily have to worry that your opponent is Carmelo Anthony that can make a shot with 3 or less seconds left on the clock.
That's right.
Some of these players might think they're the next Carmelo, but they might need to hit the gym a little bit more before they're thinking about playing for a small forward for the New York Knicks, although it's still possible.
Dare to dream.
And a lot of these kids pass better than Carmelo.
Well, you can't do everything.
There's a nice pass there, and it goes out, and Conant's going into their bench now. Onto the drive, blocked away by Simios. As Fremd is in control on the offensive and defensive end. But Conant only trails by 4, and if they can get some good minutes out of their bench here, Ryan Davis should be available, as looks like he's going to check back into the game. Ryan Davis will probably play the last 5 to 7 minutes. A lot of passing, not a lot of dribbling on this possession for the Vikings. Dribble drive for Domke. His pass is deflected away. Nice job there by Oducha. As Conant's going deep into the bench, everybody except DeShazer is off the bench in this one. Domke to the hole. Gets the layup to fall, and one.
Basket's good by Brian Domke.
See if Domke can really make him pay by hitting the free throw here.
34, Nikola Todorov.
So 6-point lead. And the big men for Conant come back in. Not able to do much with them on the bench.
And number 3, James Soto.
Well, now that Davis is back in the game, he has 3 fouls. Widlowski probably told his boys, when Davis comes back into the game, don't fret, keep attacking. There's a chance he might foul you again, and if he has a 4th foul, then he has to go to the bench.
There he's got the rebound.
Well, Domke's doing everything well except free throw shooting. A little bit more desired at the charity stripe.
That often lacking at the high school level.
DeShazer with it, and he passes out to Davis. Obviously sagging off for the 3. Davis can do a lot of things well, but he's not quite Nikola Mirotic just yet. Soto's with it. As he calls for a Downing screen, he gets it, but not a hard one. Soto's for 3. As it
touches the top of the backboard, out of bounds.
So 32-26 is Fremd has really been in control, really since midway through the 3rd quarter. Seems like things were really turning towards the Vikings' favor.
That's about the 3rd time tonight Downing's given a real half-hearted screen attempt, if you could call it that.
Shot doesn't go. Domke again!
Domke just asserting himself here. 34-26.
Looks like it was a...
Tom McCormick calls timeout.
Yeah, I thought it was a time. Couldn't have been a reach-in call. It was too early on to be called as he had just reached half court. 34-26. The tough thing for Conant is we play such short quarters. We only play 8-minute quarters in high school ball. So they're down by 8 with only 6:05 remaining in the 4th quarter. Still a lot of time, but you got to really make your possessions matter now.
And with that Fremd defense, it's hard to get points. And 8 is a lot to make up here with 6:05 left.
No shot clock in Illinois high school basketball either. Let's see what Tom McCormick draws up. I would assume he wants to get Soto's involved. I know Soto's missed a couple shots, but he's really only been the most reliable option. Davis has been there as well, but you have to be careful because if he's too aggressive in the paint, that's an elbow call, and that's his 4th team foul, first personal foul.
Yeah, and with Conant, they've got the 2 scorers, Davis and Sotos, and you really don't have to guard anybody else. And with the height advantage, it's tough for him to get good shots off.
So we'll see what Tom McCormick draws up here. You can use Davis, but Davis has to be careful near the low block. Another personal foul, and then he's back to the bench for another 3 minutes, you would think.
Conant can't afford that. They need Davis out there.
Well, McCormick still has confidence in DeShazer. He's still on the floor. He's liked what he's seen the last couple games. Conant beat Glenbrook North 60-45 about 5 days ago. Vincent pump fakes on the shot. Soto's trying to post up near the low block as Davis drives into the lane. Deflected away. Nice job by Sliwa. Viking ball. And they're going to play a little bit of clock here. Tried to trap Sliwa, but to no avail, and he gets it out to Banka.
Got to see DeShazer up in the air and just dribbled right by him.
Sliwa back out to Domke. Domke drives past Downing. A beautiful kiss off the glass, and one style for Domke.
Domke with 16 points. He's just been huge here in the second half.
Creativity is a very underrated part of basketball. As Domke didn't have a lot of glass to work with, but what he had, he used perfectly to get the N1 layup.
He had all that he needed.
As Domke's free throw attempt, and he gets it to go. 17 points for Domke, and that's 37 points now for the Vikings. 3-point shot for Sotos. It's just not falling for Jimmy.
Just forcing up that long shot.
As DeShazer tried to poke it away, but it was a reach in from behind. That's the 7th team foul against Conant. And it's starting to unravel now for the Cougars.
It is. They're taking bad shots and just nothing going for them right now. Down by 11.
Keep in mind that Conant does not have to win this game. If they win next week, all's well that ends well. They're still in very much control of their own destiny. And if that doesn't work, if Fremd loses, then it's an outright title for Conant. So they're still in very good shape. But, you know, when you have a chance to win it, you obviously want to do it as soon as possible. But as that second one goes for Sliwa, I think Fremd was pretty hurt about that game they had a couple months ago. They had Conant on the ropes, and some bad 3-point shots really allowed Conant to get back in that one.
They definitely did, and that loss a couple weeks ago to Hoffman Estates has hurt Fremd here.
Yeah, if they had won that one, then it would have been a tie in the division, and then there wouldn't be any head-to-head, obviously, because it would have been a season split.
And for the Vikings, number 20, Luke Schofstil.
And Schofstil's back in the game. Schofstil's done a really nice job out there, especially after he got hurt on the floor. And he's really done a nice job since then. So he's battled through the pain.
So Conant got to get something going here pretty quickly.
You don't have to get a 3, you just have to get something quick. Preferably something that's not so contested.
Is there such a thing as a 13-point shot?
There's such a thing as Ryan Davis, and he got another rebound there, but I think it's just not Conant's night, as Ryan Davis was pretty much right next to the hoop and just couldn't get it to fall after he got the rebound.
And he thought he was fouled on that one. Didn't get it.
39-26 is our score, 13-point lead for the Vikings.
So the clock definitely Fremd's friend here. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Well, Conant has not scored a single point in the fourth quarter. It's been all Fremd's defense. Another foul by DeShazer as Peyton Kim. He's got another 1-and-1 coming up.
Fouls on C.J. DeShazer. Team's 8.
That's his second, so he's got a couple more to give.
As Peyton Kim, if he hits both of these, you can pretty much put this one away. It would be a 15-point lead for the Vikings. First one falls.
That gives him 4 tonight. Looking for 5.
Well, it was 18-18 at halftime. It was quite a defensive battle, and then Brian Domke just stole the show. So much speed out of the big man. He's able to really use that glass to his advantage.
A very complete game, a good rebounder, good shooter.
Lots of good drives. He's 6'5", and
A nice move there by DeShazer.
he's got the moves, Bruce. He's just got to use it earlier in the game.
Those his first points of the evening, and wide
There's
open.
Domke and gets it to fall. 19 points for Brian Domke.
And how do you let him get so open?
3-point shot for Sotos. Doesn't go. Rebounded by DeShazer. DeShazer's shot doesn't go. Rebounded by Peyton Kim.
And that's just the way the ball's been bouncing in the second half for Conant.
A 13-2 run in the fourth quarter as the Vikings look to get the season split. Stolen away by Sotos. Sotos has it. Sotos on the drive. And he was fouled by Schofstil. Not a good foul by Schofstil, as that stops the clock, too.
Fouls on number 10.
I think if you're going to do that, Bruce, you might as well try to get set and try to draw the charge. But
Basket's good.
not terrible, obviously. They got a lot of points to work with, but that does stop the clock for the Cougars.
Yep, they've still got the 13-point lead. The foul isn't going to hurt him very much.
As the fans are chanting Jimmy Sotos. I think that was they were trying to rattle him, but it kind of seemed like encouragement. Jimmy Sotos!
Well, it was the Fremd fan, so you know it wasn't encouragement. And here's payback.
I think it
Sliwa
accidentally seemed like encouragement. As
two.
Sliwa gets it and You know, Sliwa is a good shooter. We just, like, the two games we've seen, it's just been the Brian Domke, Patrick Banka show. They just haven't needed Sliwa that much.
So the 3-point play for Sliwa puts him back up by 15.
Timeout, Conant.
Tom McCormick calls timeout. I think he realizes this one is not going to be a victory, and see if he puts Davis on the bench for the rest of it.
So Conant trailing by 15 with 3:14 left.
Both of these teams are going to be teams to watch in the playoffs, especially Fremd. They can get a little bit more three-point shooting from Patrick Banka. They got a lot of good team basketball to work with playoff time.
They do. They've got the height and they've got the quickness. They're a complete team. And they spread out the scoring, except for Brian Domke.
Well, if they're not going to guard him that well, if it's going to be one-on-one all night, might as well take advantage of it and score your points. If they're not going to double you, drive to the hoop and keep scoring.
No doubt. He's just been a scoring machine here in the second half.
He's just a lot of good drives, too. He's like we've been talking about. He's 6'5". You don't expect too much out of a power forward to get it into the paint, but he's done just that tonight for the Vikings. 46-31 with 3 minutes and 14 seconds remaining.
So did Coach McCormick come up with a 15-point play?
You could only hope, Bruce. You can only hope.
Boy, that one far enough away, and he sinks it.
I don't know if McCormick drew up that one, but it goes up and goes in.
Yeah, you take what they give you.
Doesn't necessarily matter if it's picture perfect. If it goes in, it goes in.
That one far enough away. It should have been a 5-point play.
Patrick Banka almost lost it, but he gets it out to Domke. Domke drives again. Domke fouled on the play. 19 fouls against Conant. Domke to the line for a 1-and-1. Nope, it's their 10th team foul, so it's a double bonus.
Intentional foul number 23. Brian Domke at the line.
So getting technical out there.
What do they call? Okay, they call it technical on him.
And Domke not the guy you want to send to the line.
He has struggled though tonight, but he definitely can hit him. So he makes one of two there. 47-34. Double technical, which means both free throws and the inbounds play.
That really hurts. Gives from the ball back, and they're out there eating clock.
Not that Conant would have necessarily come back by 12 with less than 3 minutes left, but there was at least somewhat of a chance. As Sliwa drives in. Ooh, that was pretty. Sliwa draws the contact. It's a very tough layup. More of a floater shot and goes to the line.
Hard foul. 49-34. 15-point lead.
Well, McCormick's going to stick with Ryan Davis, and might be a good idea as well. You get him used to these kind of games come playoff time. Soto's still on the floor as well, even though it's mostly over. Trailed by 16 points.
And the rule of streaks stuck in Fremd's favor here.
Believe it or not, it was 30-26 going into the fourth quarter. And then Fremd just kept accelerating on the gas, and Conant just forgot where the acceleration button was.
Fouls on Peyton Kim.
Personal foul.
That's an intentional personal foul.
It's not a technical. He's just going to shoot a 1-and-1. Soto's to the line. First one goes for Jimmy. 50-35 is our score. Well, Fremd's going to improve. And they'll be one game behind Conant in the conference standings, the Eastern Division.
That's 20 points for Sotos.
And for Conant, number 23.
Well, it's certainly not Jimmy Soto's fault why Conant's going to fall tonight, but just didn't get enough from his teammates, and a couple of turnovers that Vikings were able to utilize in the transition game.
Very much a duet tonight for Conant.
Pass it to Sliwa. Sliwa drives again.
Charge.
They're going to call a charge. Nice job there. It was coming off the bench. That was 23.
Matsis.
For the Cougars, number 32, Daniel Ronaldo.
Don't have Matsis on our roster here, so don't know much about him, but we'll give him credit.
Soto's with it. Soto's fakes the shot. Long range three for Vincent. Air ball. Picked up by Simios. Just tried to save it, and then it goes out to the Fremd Vikings.
When it rains, it pours.
As the Fremd fans are really getting into it. They're making them earn those free T-shirts that Pave gave them. Banka foul, kind of a silly foul by Vincent, but maybe more of a frustration foul. As Banka goes to the line for a double bonus.
Yeah, tired of him just playing keep away. Send him to the line, get the ball back.
Assuming he misses both free throws. Usually that doesn't happen when Patrick Banka's at the line.
So that Banka's third from the charity stripe. Makes it 51-36. He gets both of them.
So 20 points for Sotos. The problem is Brian Domke has 20. And don't forget about Sliwa, who has 10. Speaking of Sliwa, rebounded, Davis on the foul. It's kind of just a game of keep away and free throw shots at this point.
Yeah, Conant's just got to be terribly frustrated. Just nothing going here in the fourth quarter.
What do you think happened to Conant? Was it just missing shots, or did they got to figure out their help defense and work on players like Domke for future games, because they really didn't help a lot when Domke was driving to the hoop. It was mostly just one-on-one basketball guarding Domke.
They did a much better job on Domke in the first half, but he still had his points.
And in the second half, it's just not that good a help defense to help protect the paint against Domke. But Domke's a very good player. He's got a lot of creativity at the hoop. Soto's as he goes to the line. And he'll, at least at this point, it's going to be a loss, but you never like to hear the terms padding your stats, but Soto's has had a good game, so why not? Get 2 more points on your stat line.
He generally does have a good game.
As the fans have given us a nice description of what the game is. I would agree it's mostly over at this point.
I don't know, there's 109 left.
If there's a will, there's a way. Nothing is over until we say it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? The Germans?
He's on a roll, just go with it. Jim Bellucci, of course.
107 remaining here. Animal House was the movie.
Yes, it was.
59 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Both teams just seem like even basketball teams, Bruce, and I don't want this score to get away with how good Conant is. They just kind of had a fourth quarter to forget.
Fremd may have just worn them down. And we've got it's like a travel.
Number 12, Connor Simeon.
You didn't necessarily expect this to happen, but you kind of saw how frustrated Fremd was for that loss a couple months ago at Conant. You kind of figured that Widlowski and the boys were going to have a little bit more sense of urgency for this one as they try to get revenge for that loss a couple months ago. And it really showed in the fourth quarter tonight.
Also in for Fremd, number 14, Sean Patel.
So do you put somebody else in, let him get a 42 seconds worth of experience here at the end of a blowout.
I'm surprised that he played Ryan Davis when it was pretty much over with 3 minutes left in the game. But I guess he wants his big man to get experience, and he's getting a lot of experience, and he's only a sophomore, so that's going to add on when he's a junior next year and a senior after that. But I would assume that Ryan Davis is going to the bench.
You would think so.
As Sean Patel will enter the game. The junior, he's a forward at 6'4". He'll enter the game for the Vikings.
Yep, most of the starters sitting down. We got
Sean Patel.
Matsos and DeSazer and Sicardi.
Todorov into the game for the Cougars. Schofstell with it, and it'll just be a game of keep away.
Oh!
And Renolis from behind steals it. And just Schofstell once again goes hard to the floor. This time went on his right cheekbone.
That was on Luke Schofstall.
Well, that's his own fault. He tackled the man Ronaldo, who made the steal there to keep him from having the wide open layup, and put himself on the ground.
As Ronaldo will go to the line. Shoot 2 free throws here, double bonus. Getting so close to try to get to the 40 mark, sorry.
So that Ronaldo's first point.
Austin Schwantz into the game now for the Vikings. He's a junior. 54-38. Both teams, watch out for them in regionals.
May the Schwantz be with you. 38-54, 33 seconds left.
Schofstell with it, double teamed. And he gives it out to Simios. Simios with it. Looks like he's trying to find Sean Patel for 2 more points. As Simios calls timeout, Ronaldo in frustration deflected it away, but deflection was just before he called timeout. Yes, 54-38 is our score.
18.4 seconds.
Just a well-thought game by Fremd, especially the fourth quarter. They just kind of shut down Ryan Davis.
And Michael Downing just not able to get much going here tonight.
They're going to have to try to fix that going forward, will the Cougars, and these teams will meet for the championship game. Might be at Conant High School, but that's assuming that Conant wins next week and or Fremd loses. So Sean Patel will hold the ball for the end of the game. Our final score is Fremd 54 and Conant 38. So Fremd is able to get the season split against the Conant Cougars, and a nice win for the boys from Fremd, Bob Wedlowski's crew, and assistant coach Mike Brown. 54-38 is our final score. Leading the charge, Brian Domke. What a game, Bruce.
And a very convincing win there for the Fremd Vikings. Thought it would probably be a bit closer than that. So, for Kyle Smith, I'm Bruce Anderson. We'll see you here again next week to close out the regular season. See you then.